When you're blue and kinda lonely too, you'll find a smile will go a long, long way. Though you're down, don't sit around and frown. A little smile will go a long, long way. Never grieve, just try to make believe the sky is blue, although you know it's gray. Don't you pine, it's just a waste of time. You'll find a smile will go a long.
Are we going?
You're going.
We're on. Hey, everybody, it's Jen here, and that's my pal Ron. And so, I guess I didn't lie last week, but here we are, week 2, and Ron's still got mad back issues, so he's going to go and leave me alone again. That's it.
Have fun.
Well, you'll be back next week.
Oh, yeah.
And he's doing better. Wait, get your face in the shot. Look how much weight he's lost.
Well, I don't know.
You're getting to be a skinny old man.
I haven't weighed myself.
Before you were just an old man. Now you're becoming a skinny old man. Hey, listen, I'm old too. It's all good. My clock? All right, so we got about 15 minutes left together. Oh, there he goes, Mr. Gimpy. Everybody loves you, Ronzo. He'll be back before you know it. All right, so here I am with you. And we got some stuff to handle today on Ron and Jen's Great Escape, the podcast. We'll get to our great sponsors. And, of course, last week, I probably went on and on too long about them. But I don't think you can ever go on too long about your sponsors because, they're the meat and potatoes of this stuff. And we love them, and we're so grateful that they're here. So we'll talk about Greg's, and we'll talk about Brenda Lee O'Hara and O'Hara Senior Care, such an important service she provides, and Operation Stand Down, the folks that helped save my life. But before we get to that, and I really didn't know that I was going to do the show by myself today, last week anyway, and I started thinking about things that I wish I said last week that I didn't say, and yada, yada, yada. So here it is. I'm just going to lay it out for you guys because a lot of stuff is on my mind all the time. And I end up, because mostly I live alone. I have a roommate, but I never see her. I talk to the dogs or myself. I don't know. This happens when I'm 55 now. And I'm always worried about these are the things that you worry about. I'm always worried someone's going to walk in on me and hear me talking to my animals. I do. I worry about when I sneeze because things happen when you sneeze. At 55, things happen. It's true. It's a fact. And I'm worried about not waking up. So these, once if you've lived half a century, it's, and I've had quite a fun life and not so much fun at times, but you know what I'm saying? I did a lot of things I probably shouldn't have done. Many of you have, you do the same, have done the same. But okay, so here's the stuff. We'll get to the serious stuff and then we'll get to the serious news and then we'll get to the other stuff, Jen's news, which is wacky. All right, let's talk about the border just for 1 second. And this is all I'm going to say about that. Whether you agree or disagree with the right or the left or you're an independent, it has nothing to do with any of that. I just want to, for the people that are still confused and all you want to do is fight, I just want to say, we see you. What do I mean by this? I mean that now it doesn't matter if it's the border, the open border, if it's the Israel-Palestine war. It doesn't matter if it's the transgender issue. People are blurring the lines of the conversations and the issues. So, for instance, I am very anti-open border policy. You cannot do that. It's a national security issue. We don't know who these people are. We don't know what diseases they're bringing into this country. We don't know anything about the crime elements that are coming across the border. Now they're saying that the number of Chinese nationals that have infiltrated the southern border are quadrupling. So here's what I'm saying. I am definitely for migration, as many Americans are. I am not for open border. That doesn't mean, right? So what do they say? If you're not for migration, you're a xenophobe, you're a racist. No, I am, but do it the right way. I am for people living their own lives. So if you want to talk about the transgender issue, all right, if that's what you think you want to be, or if that's who you are, or if that's what you want, whatever, it's the beauty of America. We have a right to be what we want, to represent, to say what we want, right? We can do this. But that doesn't mean that I'm for guys who are putting wigs on that are stealing women's sports, right? I'm not for that. rescue, save women's sports. There has to be some sort of sanity with respect to that issue. And as far as Israel, why? Why? First of all the people that are for Palestine, you're actually supporting, and maybe they know this, you're actually supporting Hamas, because to be pro-Palestinian means you're pro-Hamas. So I am not pro-Hamas, but that doesn't mean I don't support the Palestinian people in protecting their own interests, in as much as we hope that Israel would protect, and support their own interests. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's just so crazy, because if you have to be all in, or you're a racist, a xenophobe, a hater, a this, a Nazi, it's the craziest thing these times, people. I just wanted to say all this because I feel like it's not being emphasized enough. You can be pro-choice, pro-life, as I am. I would never have an abortion. That's not for me. But I support a woman's right to choose. If a woman wants to do that, she's going to have to meet her maker. That's something she's going to have to live with her whole life. Choices have consequences. But so you see what I'm saying? Just because you're dug in on one side doesn't mean that you're not, reasonable about the other side. And you don't have to agree with me, and I really don't care if you do, but I'm just saying, why is there so much anguish and anger and infighting about this crap? And now it's even extended into Taylor Swift, which I can't even talk about. People are angry. I wrote on my Facebook page, which you can check out if you're interested. Jen Brian, Jennifer Brian, whatever. Ron also has his personal Facebook page, Ron St. Pierre. You can check his page out. He posts a lot of funny stuff. And then we have our Ron and Jen's Great Escape page, which I don't know. I think it's super interesting. We go retro. We write funny stuff. We put old commercials on there. It's just a fun place. There's no politics. There's no anguish. There's no stress. So if you want to have some fun, check out Ron and Jen's Great Escape page. And but I posted something about Taylor Swift saying, yeah, if you're triggered by Taylor Swift, then you're probably not going to be able to handle the civil war that looks like it's brewing. It's festering. It's under the surface right now. I don't know. I mean, that's, inflammatory. But, who knows? It could happen again. So I used the word triggered. I had so many people. I'm not triggered. I'm not triggered. I don't think people are triggered. I'm not triggered. Your responses are definitely coming from a place of being triggered. And what does trigger mean? Yeah? Trigger means a visceral response. Right away, it's like, oh, I don't have that when I see Taylor Swift. I see her at games. I could care less. I see her in the news with her Kelsey football player guy. I could care less. Why? If you're that intense about Taylor Swift, you're triggered. If you have to convince me that you're not triggered, you're triggered. But this is my point. People are pissed off about Taylor Swift. And this I thought about in the middle of the night. I have great thoughts at 2, 3 a.m. Remember back, for those of you that are, I don't know, my age, a little bit, that are above the age of 30. Back in 2000, all you heard about ad nauseum was Paris Hilton. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I was living in a tiny little apartment at Bayside in Warwick. Andy Gresh, my dear friend, I used to work with him at WPRO. Andy Gresh, who's now on 103.7 EEI, I listen to him a lot. He lived over there, and I lived over there. And I remember that time in my life, you couldn't get enough. Paris Hilton and J-Lo, oh my God. They were everywhere in everything, on every ad, on every show. It was nauseating. This isn't something new. Culture goes through cycles, but for some reason, and I don't know, maybe you guys want to email us or DM us. You can do that at Ron and Jen's Great Escape, or you can email me. Don't bother emailing Ron. He always gives my email, Jen Brian at rocketmail.com. Why do you think so many people are bent out of flippin' shape about Taylor Swift? I don't get it. I don't know. Oh, I know. One other thing that I wanted to get to, and then we'll get to Jen's news. I'm watching the clock here. So, because Ron will shuffle in and say, wrap it up. And I'm going to wrap it up before he can do that today. So you guys, the deal with the Washington Street Bridge, okay, and the Henderson Bridge and 195 and all of that nightmare mess. So they got a guy, the DOT, Rhode Island DOT, they got some guy in here. He's from the feds. And how many times did he prep us? It's a soft prep, people. Oh, well, demolish is definitely in the car, on the table, not in the cards. Demolishing is of great consideration. Demolishing, the federal funds for that project will be in place. I've worked on many bridges, and if it is demolished, how many times did he say that? People, that thing's going to have to be torn down. Torn down. They said it's going to take at least 2 years if that's the case, right? 4. And because 2 years is if everything goes according to plan, which, as we know, it will not. It definitely will not. I mean, think about weather events. Think about stupid people running that project. How many projects have been run by terrible corporations and a lot of stupid people and a lot of really greedy people? So they're hoping 2 years if everything goes well. So, yeah, just plan for a nightmare scenario with that. And the last thought I had about that before we get to Jen's news is this. Where's that intern, that junior engineer, that person that saw, right, that saw the beam sliced in half or whatever where is this person? Because they won't identify this individual. Nobody can talk to, they're hiding this female, this male, non-binary, who knows? I could care less. Who is this person? And why can't the press talk to this individual? That is so insanely suspect. So these are all the things that I've been thinking about the last week. Oh, nope, there's one more thing. If you were traveling along the Henderson Bridge like I was today to get to Chez St. Pierre, Ron's beautiful house that I'm sitting in, I just want to tell you the reason why there was a backup. There was an injured swan as you were heading into Providence toward Gano. So I hope that the police department or the Department of Environment Management, somebody went out there and helped that huge, beautiful, majestic-looking animal because it clearly was in shock and it was tying up traffic. And it broke my heart. So I hope that story ended well. Nope, there is one last thing. Sorry, I get ahead of myself. One last thing. I get emails. I have gotten quite a few. I've gotten at least 40 emails. This is true. People, I think I've responded to one. Why do you wear this Canada sweatshirt? Why do you support Canada? Socialist, crazy. I don't support Canada. I don't support the crazy guy that's in charge over there. Super ultra progressive liberal nutbag. I don't support that guy. I have a dear friend that lives in Canada. Her and her husband, Larry. Hi, Jean. I love you. Mwah. Love you so much. She sent me this sweater for Christmas, and that is why I wear it. I wear it out of love for somebody that has loved me and supported this show and my career for the longest time. So there, that's it. There's nothing else. There's no undercurrent. There's no sneaky vibe. There's no secret message. There's nothing. It's that simple. All right. So let's talk about Jen's news, and in Jen's news, America's favorite segment. It is true. Aliens, because that's one of my favorite things to talk about. All right. Remember last week I said, hey, I believe in Bigfoot and Nellie and Yeti and aliens, right? A third of Americans believe aliens are living among us. It's true. People have long been fascinated by UFOs and the idea of life on other planets. But for many of them, it's much more real than just an idea. Well, it turns out a lot of folks believe aliens are real, so real that they're already making Earth their home. More than half of Americans, 53%, think aliens exist. They surveyed 1,000 adults. Who did this survey? I can't even see that. I don't see that. I don't see who conducted this, but that's fine. 34% don't share that belief. Many believers are beyond convinced, though, including 37% who think aliens are living among us right now. Those folks feel that they're in disguise. Well, you know what they call that? If you watch Art Bell's show, his old show, because he's dead now. I can't believe that guy died of an overdose. Isn't that wild? It's called shape-shifting or the reptilians. So what you got to do is when you look at people, if they have black eyes, no pupil, and it's just all black, they're reptilians. Yeah. And shapeshifters, according to Coast to Coast, now with George Norrie, who took over for Art Bell, the shapeshifters can look like me 1 second, and then the next second they can look like Ron. They just kind of, ooze around, becoming different people, and they are chameleons, but they shapeshift in what they have to be in order to get their needs met. Just saying, this is what real people are saying. Men, by the way, are more likely to believe aliens exist than women. And some ideas about from the believers say they think their boss is an alien. I don't know. I just thought my boss was a bitch, not an alien. I don't know. Can I say that on this podcast? I think so. All right. Car insurance rates have more than a third doubled. Have gone up more than a third, pardon me, since 2020. Everything costs more, and that is true. My car insurance, USAA, went up from $198 to $242 in the last 6 months. Crazy. Everything costs more these days, and that definitely includes car insurance. Yep. According to an ABC News analysis of data from the Bureau of Labor Stats, car insurance rates have climbed 36%. Unbelievable. Since January 2020. And if you're saying, well, why, Jen, shop around? I have full coverage. My loan is almost done. But when you have a loan, at least with my loan, I had to have full coverage. So this is why it's super expensive. For me, anyway. The increases have a cause that makes sense. Some analysts say it's because of a surge in vehicle prices. Also, it's the technology in cars. It's difficult. It's a lot more challenging. And it's a lot more expensive. If you guys know that, if you have a newer car, you'll know that these days to get your car fixed. So that's that. What else? Where's my dog story? How to help dogs deal with depression. How many of you guys and gals and people, whatever, have dogs that seem depressed? My dog, well, it's not my dog, but the dog that lives with me, one of them, Molly, always mopes. Oh, speaking of dogs, there's Hazel. Molly always mopes. She's always seeming like she's depressed. And so this story can certainly help. Hazel! Dogs suffer from depression just like humans. This is true. Back in the 80s, researchers figured out that pups have extreme emotional swings, much like we do. But what can we do to help them out? Okay? This is what experts say. Here are some signs, and here's what we can do to help them. Reduced activity. And a desire to play. So if they're depressed, they don't want to do anything, just like us, right? If they could go to the fridge, they would. Clinginess or social withdrawal. A loss or change in appetite. That always troubles me when we see that in animals. Excessive licking for comfort. Hot spots. Yep, they're bored. Uncharacteristic whining or howling. So those are some ways that, you can see if your dog is depressed. And how can you help your pup feel better? Well, you can bond with them, it says. That's pretty obvious. We're not splitting the atom here, folks. Make dinner time exciting, okay? And help them, along with feeling better by grooming. Don't you feel better when you take a shower? I mean, isn't it true if you get depressed? I don't know. I went through a spate of depression after I got sober, and I didn't shower for something like 5-6 days. It might have even been longer than that. I know, it's pretty gross. But the moment you shower, that was 2 years ago. The moment you shower, yeah, my father had died. I think I had pretty good reason to be depressed. Anyway, once you shower, you feel better. And this is the time of year, right, when a lot of people have that seasonal affective disorder. You feel like a lump of crud. You're just Chet from Weird Science. Remember? Chet, speaking of Chet, what's up, Chet? Yeah, that big ball of poop that lady turned the brother into. Chet. The pile of poop. Yeah, you feel like that. So if you're depressed, also, by the way, it's not you. I'm talking about humans now. Go out and do something for somebody else. That's true. The minute you try to do good and you're helping others, it takes all of the focus off your own stuff, and that always helps me. All right, before we get into a few more things, like our sponsors, I just want to say, again, thank you so much for everybody that supports this show. It's time to wrap it up. So thanks so much for everybody that supports the show. Ron is not here because he had back surgery, but he's on the mend, and he's doing great, and everything is going according to plan, but he's still not good enough to sit for long periods of time, so I had to take you through the show again today. So, I didn't get to everything that I wanted to get to because I did all that serious stuff in the beginning, but I think, hi, Hazel, we had to talk about it, because everybody's pissy and angry, and nobody knows how to talk to one another anymore, and everybody seriously wants to jump out of their own skin and beat the living snot out of others these days. It sure feels like that anyway, I'm telling you. All right, Not happy, but true. It's the world we live in. But you know what's a happy thing? Food. Food is a happy. There's Ron. He's lingering. So I know I'm wrapping up, pal. Yeah. Food is a happy thing, right? So if you guys are looking for big game grub, what can you do? If you're hosting the big game, you head out to Greg's. They've got an awesome, awesome menu. And for Valentine's Day, they have special food as well. But for the big game, they have appetizer combo platters, chicken wing and chicken finger platters. They've got deli sandwich platters, salad platters, dessert platters. Can't go wrong. Just call them up. Order something. You better do it soon, though, so they can get that ready for you. And for Valentine's Day, you can bring your special someone to Greg's for a perfect dinner, followed by a dessert as sweet as them. I hope they're sweet. And don't forget to grab your honey a special Valentine's Day dessert. Greg's has, and this is my favorite. It is my favorite ever. Red velvet cake. Oh, my God. With cream cheese frosting, giant eclairs, and they have Valentine-themed cupcakes. So that's from Greg's. I want to tell you guys about Operation Stand Down real quick. The folks that help put my life back together. You just call them, and all they're going to do is help you. They don't want anything. They want you to get better. That's all they want. So what do you need? Do you need food? Do you need housing? Do you need employment? Do you need help with your disability benefits? They do it all. They do it all. So all you need to do is go to osdri.org, or you can call them at 401-383-4730 if you're so inclined. And listen, I should be dead, and I'm not, because of God and Operation Stand Down. That's the truth. Oh, and the VA. That is true. And finally, I'm caring for my mom right now. I can tell you it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's very hard. And if I needed to, the folks that I would call, because we've got our family rallying around my mom right now, but a lot of people can't do it because they don't have the time, or it's just emotionally too difficult, or they live in another state and you don't know what to do because your parents are here and you're over there, or whatever the case may be. Brenda Lee O'Hara and O'Hara Senior Care has the most amazing group of people that can help you out and bring peace to your life. If you want peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are being cared for and they're safe, and they're in their own home. That is so key. You can contact Brenda Lee O'Hara and her team at 401-345-1811 or at oharaseniorcare.com. They treat your loved ones like their own with care and compassion, and Brenda Lee's just a tremendous person, and she's been around with this business for quite some time, so they've got a terrific reputation. And I implore you guys, if you need some help, give Brenda Lee a call or email. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Try and be sane. Try and be decent. Go 49ers. Yes. I'm sick of Patrick Mahomes. Go 49ers. And Ron will be back next week. We'll see you then. Oh, also, wait. Yes, our podcast usually drops Wednesday, but it's dropping a day later this week because Ron had an appointment yesterday. Check out our radio show at 920whjj.com. We do a show, Ron and Jen's Great Escape, at 7 a.m. on that radio station. And also our column from Rhode drops every Wednesday at 4 a.m. Nancy's always up early. So check out what we got to say. We hope you enjoyed my thoughts. If not, hey, what can I say? It is what it is. See ya.